but maybe Trump's plummeting ratings are the reason he's choosing to do more podcasts and TV interviews lately. And if you thought the host at Fox News kissed his ass, well, this washed-up former wrestler that interviewed him is trying to give him a run for their money. Because during the interview, the host, who goes by the stage name Tyrus, decided to just blatantly lie about Trump chartering a plane to fly Nelson Mandela and his staff to 8 cities on a U.S. speaking tour back in the 90s. A lie Trump not only failed to correct, but shamelessly went along with, even though there are widely available news articles from the time that clearly state that Mandela's staff ended up paying $130,000 to charter the plane themselves.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How is somebody... And that's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
Well, because they're not true. That's why you don't know it, because they didn't happen, Tyrus. What actually happened was that Trump creditors seized his Trump Shuttle airline during Trump's first bankruptcy in the summer of 1990. The creditors leased Trump-branded planes to anyone who would pay a commercial rate, including Nelson Mandela's 8-city U.S. tour that year. And here's an article from the time. But Trump's generosity only goes so far. Organizers are paying $130,000 to charter the plane. Huh. Gee, I wonder why he ain't bragging about, is it because you didn't actually do it? I mean, that hasn't stopped him from bragging about shit before that he hasn't done, but, another lie. One of the thousands that'll just sink into the pile and not get the necessary fact checks it deserves. But if you thought Trump was only cool with lying to adults, well then think again, because this morning he decided to go on Fox and Friends, and after reiterating his Project 2025 plan to close the Department of Education, he then decided to lie to some poor kid about Kamala wanting to ban cows.
It's not anything to do with school choice, also. Okay. But also, separate from school choice, we're going to take the Department of Education, close it. I'm going to close it. We'll have one person, could be you if you decide to retire.
Okay, Mr. President, here's what bothers me.
Central casting.
Here's what bothers me about that. So let's say you have a liberal city, let's Los Angeles, San Diego, and they just decide we're going to get rid of that history. We got new history. This is America built off the backs of slaves on stolen land. And that curriculum comes in.
Then we don't send them money. We would save half of our budget.
Okay.
What's your favorite farm animal?
Favorite farm animal?
What's the animal?
Well, this guy grew up in the city.
I'll tell you what I love. I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows anymore because you're not allowed. I don't want to ruin this kid's day. But I love cows. I think they're so cute and so beautiful and so productive. But according to Kamala, who's a radical left lunatic, you will not have any cows anymore. So.
Yeah, he thinks they're cute and fluffy and beautiful. Hey, what are hamburgers made out of again? That thing that he pretty much lives off of? He then continued his delusional rambling by claiming that anybody other than himself ever referred to him as a stable genius, and then proceeded to double down on the clearly false statement.
I am the most stable human being. Remember they said a stable genius. I am the most stable human being. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, the most stable human being. That's how everybody would describe this fucking insane jackass. He's the most stable human being. By the way, nobody ever called him a stable genius besides himself. They said stable genius. Who's they? The voices in your head? You crazy old fuck. By the way, can we just point out that this guy still lies about being 6'3"? Literally everybody on this couch is taller than him, including the woman. Yeah, 6'3", my ass. Anyway. But Trump's delusional lies haven't stopped there, because it's now being revealed that the Trump campaign has been funneling money through some of the many political action committees set up and funded by billionaires like Elon Musk to create a shell group called Project 2028, designed to look like it's in support of Kamala Harris, but it's actually filled with lies and disinformation, and is sending out mailers to potential voters hoping to scare them out of voting for Kamala.
The latest scam that's been uncovered is that Donald Trump, through these billionaire-backed political action committees, are funneling money to these made-up groups to try to pretend they're supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, but in fact, they are pushing lies about Kamala Harris's agenda to try to scare voters not to vote for her. So with all of the links between Donald Trump and his Project 2025 agenda, and all of the dangerous positions that would turn America into a fascist state, what Donald Trump is doing is he's utilizing a political action committee called Build America's Future, which has received over $100 million from Elon Musk. And among other things, they have created a shell group, this other entity, if you will, that is called Progress 2028, to be like the liberal version of Project 2025, except Project 2028 isn't a thing. It isn't a liberal group. It is a fictitious name created by a political action committee that gets $100 million from Elon Musk. And the Progress 2028 is sending mailers out to Pennsylvania voters and voters in other swing states, acting like they're supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, but saying real extreme things to try to scare voters away. As dirty as you get, in my opinion, it is illegal. Open Secrets did a deep dive, which I'll go over with you in just a moment, but I want to show you the mailers that are being sent out. And so this purports to be an endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris and her Project 2028 agenda, which doesn't exist. She doesn't have a Project 2028 agenda. Again, this is being mailed out by Elon Musk's group to try to trick voters. And here's what the mailer says that's going to Pennsylvania voters and voters in other swing states. It says, "Did you know, as the daughter of immigrants, Kamala Harris knows the importance of removing barriers to opportunity. Kamala will ensure that immigrants can access affordable housing and obtain driver's licenses with ease, giving them the tools to fully embrace the American dream. Let's get ready for the next generation or the next phase in Kamala's bold progressive agenda. Learn about her plan." And then you click it and it goes into things that Vice President Kamala Harris actually has not endorsed. And when you open it, it talks about things like Kamala Harris will support a nationwide gun buyback program that will take dangerous weapons off our streets. A mandatory buyback is the only way to keep our streets safe. And then it goes on to say things like, Vice President Kamala Harris will remove barriers for undocumented immigrants who are undocumented. Access to affordable housing, driver's license, and fair wages creates a stronger America for everyone. A national mandatory buyback program means fewer guns and fewer tragedies. Kamala Harris gets it. And so these ads are actually being pushed by Elon Musk's group.
That's what you're up against. So if you hear anything about Project 2028, just know that that has nothing to do with Kamala, and it's fake BS propaganda from one of Musk's PACs that he set up. You know, tell your friends, tell your family that it's not actually real and has nothing to do with Kamala.